All right, we got a question back here to begin our session.
My question's for Pat. I was wondering how you handle when the customer name drops a rep or CSP that's recently inactive or that you know is not a rep anymore.
Okay, someone that's not active anymore, I would just be 100% honest with them and be like, hey, first of all, you have to have a reason for knowing that. Like, I mean, if you have if you know for a fact for whatever it is, know for sure it is. I would just tell them straight up, oh yeah, he's not with it. He or she isn't with us anymore. They're doing something else with another company. So I'd be more than happy to help you out. I've had it happen to me several times with people. They're just 100% honest. That and the verbiage is, oh, he or she's not working with Cutco anymore. Forever how long? So we can still help you out. We're respecting his or her customers and treating you as we would, giving you the respect of a Cutco owner. Yeah. Pretty simple. Don't you? Is that pretty good?
I have the next question. You guys did a fantastic job. The one thing is that I know, Kelly, you were talking about full price and then going through that whole approach. The thing that I would like to hear is how you drop down slowly, once again, so that we know when they don't go for the 1273, what's your next step, and then how do you go down slowly to eventually close that? And it could be anyone that answers it, but.
Okay, well, I have the mic, so I will start. I can hand over. Yeah, it's a good question because sometimes it takes more than one drop down, right? So the first thing, and the whole point when you're going through your demos, try to get an idea. I try to get an idea of like, I've already cut the penny. I know they're interested in the shears, right? That's kind of an easy go-to. But I'll, a lot of times the husband will go grab a hunting knife or start asking questions about a pocket knife, or they'll start asking questions about a gadget. So I get an idea of like what they're emotionally connected to and excited about. Kind of throughout the demo. You guys know a lot of times you're like, I know they want that thing. So I always try to give something for free first with that. If I come back, and the husband and wife are like, we let them, give them space, come back, and they're like, that's awesome. Like, we'd love those shears, but I don't know, like, it's still a lot. But I feel like they're really close. I'll usually kind of dig in a little bit more, again, kind of break the pattern, just build a little bit more value, kind of take a step back before I just throw another deal out again. And then usually I'll offer, to knock the price down at that point. And so, again, it could be 50, it could be 100, as long as you kind of go through that cycle of kind of repositioning. Well, hey, like I said, remember, I don't get to change the price. What I can do is give you more value. That's why I'm buying you those shears. But let me ask you, if I could just like take a cut out of my commission, if I could just get you like an extra special, crazy, turbocharged deal, would you be open to just getting it today? And I asked that question as a tie down for them to say yes or no, right? You always frame the deals before you offer them. Because if you just say, do you want it for $12.73? Like, no. You're like, what if I give you free shears? They're like, oh, we're still gonna think about it. You ask them, would you be, if I could do this, would you be open to getting it today? Or would you pull, at the second drop down, I get a little bit more aggressive. I just say, or a little bit more assertive. I say, would you just go ahead and pull the trigger today? If I could get you an extra special, awesome, crazy turbocharge discount, like you'll never find this again, would you go ahead and just pull the trigger today? And that's when I'll give them like $50 off or $100 off of the set. And I'll just, bonus some table knives or charge my rep account $50 or something like that. So multiple steps. So yeah, and if you need to, you can do it again, or at that point, if you can drop to a smaller set, if they're still there and they're still talking and they're still engaged, you need to keep working down and just get really clear and just ask them. At some point, I will often get to the point where I just say, if there was a version of you getting this set today, what would that look like? You tell me. What do you want? And they're like, I don't know. It's just too many knives. Sometimes it's not till the third drop down they really tell you what the objection is. So there you go.
Perfect. I do have a question back here. So we're just going to go right here to Emmy. And I believe you can keep the mic, Kelly. I believe this question is for you.
Hey.
Hi. Hi, Emmy.
Hey. Super quick question. So I occasionally will get the question of a customer standing in front of me and they'll say, okay, well, how long is this deal good for? How long does this last? And I haven't figured out how to answer that without sounding like the pressure's on, it's right here, right now. So is there a way that you word that if you do get that question?
Sure. Yeah, people will say sometimes like, well, can we still come back? If we come back later today, can we still get that deal? The answer is always like, yeah, I'd probably still do it for you. Like I'm always upfront and open, but it's usually like, then the question is just, but what is it that's really holding you back? It's just, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to lie. If you come back, I'm still going to give you those free shears. I'll be honest with them. I will. Maybe you won't, but I will. But it's just, there's clearly something else. Like clearly they're interested enough that they're really, really wanting to know like, okay, if I come back in 2 hours, can I still get those scissors? Like they're not just like, yeah, okay, Cutco, whatever, see you later. They're trying to blow you off. They're interested and they're invested. So then it's like, well, so what is it that's really holding you back, Mrs. Jones? And sometimes I'll ask, what's going to be different this afternoon? Like what's going to be different later, or what's going to be different tomorrow when you call me tomorrow? Like just kind of dig that out a little bit and then like, offer again the extra special deal or something, or what would it take for you to just get it now without you having to think about it? If there was a version of you getting it now without you coming back, what would that look like? So.
Yep. And then I have one more. Sorry.
That's okay. I thought
They
it was
ju-
good, so she's following my rules.
So I know that you talked about with the customization, like really making them feel special, that we don't do this for everyone, that it is a big deal. How do you do that without sounding fake or cheesy or kind of like animated about like, wow, what we're doing here is amazing, like coming off like that?
Yeah. I'm just totally honest with customers. Like, I think customers have a perception that when something special is being done, like the price is being knocked down, or they get something for free, or they're getting a set customized, like Cutco's doing that, or like Cutco's paying for your booth space. Like people don't know, like they don't know what our job and what our life is and what our commission structure is and stuff like that. So I'm just really honest and authentic with customers. I'm like, I start with it basic. And if people start asking, like sometimes people just say like, well, I wouldn't even use all the pieces in this set. I mean, like I wouldn't even use this fork. I really like those scissors. I could tell we're getting to the point of like, they're like, can you ever change pieces in the set? I tell them like, well, we can. Typically we don't. Here's the thing. If you go online and you buy this set, Cutco just sells it as is. You can't change or customize anything. You're going to pay that price for it. Typically we don't customize it because it's true for me. I don't. So I'm, in integrity saying that. But let me ask you this. If we could kind of customize the pieces here so you can get exactly what you want in this set, would that help you pull the trigger on the set today? And if they say yes, then I'm going to customize the heck out of it. But I'm going to make it a big deal, right? And I'm going to tell them every single thing I'm doing. Hey, Mrs. Jones, just we're pulling out a $50 fork. We're putting in a $112 pair of kitchen scissors. And I'm going to pay the difference for you. I'm still going to get you that set for just $12.73. Like I very clearly connect the dots for them that I am doing something for them.
One thing that I'll just add to that real quick, I think it's important to use comparisons. And one of my favorite comparisons that I've heard, it's like, hey, Mrs. Jones, if you go to the car dealership and you want like you find the car that you want, but you want like the leather seats on it, you want the navigation system in there, you want the, security system, you want the windows tinted, everything like that. Do they normally throw those in for free, or does that cost like a lot extra? It's like, that's normally like so much extra for all that stuff. And so whenever you're doing it here, though, the cool thing is, since you're working with me, I actually cover the cost of all of that for you, as long as everything fits in the block. So that way you have your personalized, tailored set specifically to you, and you don't end up with pieces that just collect dust in the block.
Yeah, that was good. Last thing, I think what Kelly hit on many times is you asked about how do you still sound genuine and not cheesy about it. Well, notice how Kelly never says this is the absolute best price ever. You always get it. So when you're customizing, don't overdo it. And okay, I don't do this for anybody else. I'm only doing this for you. Okay, wink, wink. Just here's what I'll do for you. I'll make it special for you because that's honest, and don't overdo this is just for you, because then that is dishonest.
That's why I say a lot of normally. Normally I don't do this.
Awesome. Go ahead, Scotty's out of the room. Here we go.
All right. So my question is for Steven. And my question was your tables that you had there, they looked absolutely amazing.
So sexy, right?
Where'd you get them? And what would you recommend as far as other tables? Because our booths honestly look like the ugly ones that you had. So.
Yeah. So here's the thing. There's no shame in having, still using the tablecloths. We still do that at a lot of our events. All of our key events, though, we're using the tables. We invested $20,000 into that right before the state fairs to get those. So we worked with a guy that did it. We're actually working with a different guy now because we've had some issues. And honestly, I would be willing to bet that if any of you put out on Facebook that you're looking for someone who can build something like that and you threw pictures up, you would have probably a bunch of people that are like, dude, I've been working with wood since I was 4 years old. Like, I've got this. So you have someone like that in your network. We're working with a different guy now. It's actually Nick Matlack, one of our DVMs. His dad does this. And so we're working with him to kind of get version 2.0. But yeah, here's the thing, guys. If you want pictures of those booths, like in the breakdown process, how they fold up, everything like that, just shoot me a message on Facebook or something like that. And I'd be happy to send those over to you. Because I literally did pictures with all the dimensions and everything for him. So I'll just let you know, it's one of those things that can be a little bit more of a pain in the butt. They're very, very heavy. And so that's another one of the things that we're working at. But I'll tell you right now, it's like I will drag those things in and drag them out every weekend just because I know that they really do up level our displays. And one of the biggest compliments that we get from promoters and from customers, especially our past customers that come up to us at the state fairs, they're like, oh my gosh, like these look so amazing. And it's like, yeah, I know we spent a lot of money to make them. So that's what I would say as far as that. But seriously, if any of you want those pictures, shoot me a message on Facebook and I'd be happy to get those to you.
Sweet. We have another question over here. So we're going to go to Vernon B. Williams the fifth.
Hey, this is for you too, Big Steve. I'm surprised you're doing like, hey, follow me on Instagram too, with all that. So with the displays, with the plexi covered glass things that we have too, have you ever used those as well just to bring up that, like, wow, these look really, really expensive because it's like behind the case kind of thing, and then also use it for extra levels? Or do you like just letting them come and, touch the knives and all that stuff? Or does it just depend on the event?
Yeah, I just use the regular plexiglass. I don't do the full covers unless we're required to by the event. I still want to have like a level of access there, but the cool thing about it is you'll notice with like at least like good customers and respectable people, they'll come up and be like, they'll reach for it and then they'll be like, is it okay if I touch? And then they're like, yeah, it's totally fine. Just be really careful. They're like super wicked sharp. But yeah, like I like having them accessible at those shows where they're super cool with it, which is most of the shows that we do. But yeah, and then another thing that I've done is I took a page out of Curtis J. Hughes's book and bought extended screw in things for the bottom of the boards. So instead of my boards sitting at like a 10-degree angle, my boards are sitting closer to like a 35 to 40-degree angle. And that does a couple things for you. Number one, it adds that extra level for you, but then also it allows you to have so much space underneath the boards. So I'm able to have 4 clipboards. I'm able to have my random like straight edge gourmet prep knife, which that right there, that's order a straight edge gourmet prep knife if you want to sell some weird stuff. And all the random knives underneath the board. So it allows you so much space for just like storage and really just to keep yourself organized. I'm shocked that I'm getting questions. I really thought it was going to be all Kelly and Pato.
I have 2 quick questions for you, Stephen. First, those amazing looking tables that you have, are those collapsible or are they like big solid things you need a U-Haul truck to get around?
No. So literally I can fit 3 of them in my Honda Civic. If I got to try really, really hard. But basically they fold in on themselves. So they hinge in the middle. Once again, guys, with that, I can send you pictures of every stage of like collapsibility that they have, but they literally fold in, just like an M or a W shape and then just smash together into like this little like foot wide thing. So yeah, they're really easy to transport. The only thing is they're just super heavy. So
then the other question that I had was, me and some of the others on my team have sort of kicked around the idea of actually securing the knives, the display knives in the block, whether like glue or epoxy or something, so that people aren't pulling them out or messing up and they're always in a good straight looking line. What would be your opinion on that? Something like that.
You've seen that done with some of the stuff at Costco. Costco has sets that are glued in. Me personally, I don't really like it. You know, a lot of customers do want to come up and pull out the knives. I'm totally fine with that. It's just one of those little annoying things that you do have to watch. And actually, I end up using some of the knives in the sets anyway. Whenever like I do my leather demo, I'll just pull out one of the like the slicer out of the set and use that one. I'll pull out the steak knives and the table knives just to show customers it's like, hey, the sets traditionally come with our table steak knives. It's like if a butter knife and a steak knife had a baby, but you can always get the bigger like Texas size steak knives if you want to, and that's what this is in this set right here. So I'm not a big fan of it, but it's I'm not opposed to it.
Okay, do not super glue your knives in a block. I had the genius idea at one of our malls one year to do that because they wanted us to, and all that happens is you super glue them down in there, and a customer comes by and is like, "Oh, what's this?" And they do that, and oh, it doesn't come out. And then and rip it out, and you got all the knives are covered in that leftover super glue. It damages the blocks. Just don't do it. From experience. Yes, it was hilarious.
I think what he's trying to say is don't do it. So, Kelly, do you want to add anything to that? You good? Okay, cool. We have another question from Alan.
My question's for Steven. And my question is basically, so I'm not new to the show team. I'm a year into the show team, and I've been thinking about getting a booth and just starting to add on to my collection and really just get my own personal booth. But I was wondering, like, do you get everything all at once? Do you just get the certain important items first and then you add on over time? Or what was your strategy when you started first to get your booth?
Yeah, for sure. So the things that you always want to start with are just like the regular 3 key elements of a booth, and it's going to be knife sets, flatware, and cookware. And so those were the 3 things that I really focused on first off. And then of course, like I have like hunting knives in my stuff. I bought a set of kitchen tools. I bought a bacon serve set. I haven't added garden tools to my display yet. That's one of the things that I still lack. But yeah, like here's the thing. A lot of it's also going to just depend on like what your budget looks like and what you're able to do right now. And so there's no shame in, of course, like building it up over time. It really just depends. You got to make smart decisions for yourself, of course, financially. But the cool thing is like they have packages on Vector Connect that you can purchase through your coordinator where it's like you can get the sets, all marked for display only and everything like that for just like a crazy discount. And sometimes you can even split it up over like 5 or 6 or charges, which makes it just like super easy to budget. And so that's what I would say. But those are like, you want to of course hit the 3 main elements to your booth, and then also have like the nice looking tablecloths, have like good drop cloths that either cover it or if you don't have the full fitted tablecloths, you can get the other ones. But yeah, that's what I would say. And then just start adding in things as you go. I started with all the basic stuff, and then I've added in like the little 2-tiered shelves. I've added in multiple magnet blocks. I've added in just all kinds of different stuff.
Thank you. I think we have time for like 1 or 2 more quick questions if somebody has one, and then we're going to go eat some lunch.
We're going to go over here real quick. She had her hand up for a while.
My question was for Patton. Actually, all of you, great stuff from all of you, but I was curious. You said don't talk about other companies, other cookware in like a negative way. One huge thing for me is I talk a lot of smack on Teflon. Like that's like one of my biggest things about the cookware.
Yeah, I just meant other companies at the show. That's what I meant. Specifically the ones that do the ones that do a full display. Okay. That's what I meant. Oh yeah, you can knock Teflon all you want. That's like not, that's no problem.
One thing that I will say, I think it's important if you are going to talk about other brands, don't mention any brands specifically. So, unless you're wanting to heap praise upon them, like I will talk so many good things. I'll be straight up with customers. It's like, hey, like Kitchen Craft, like Lustercraft, Americraft, Salad Master, like all those companies, I have nothing bad to say about them because they're amazing. And our cookware is made in the same town in West Bend, Wisconsin. Like literally, like there's the Salad Master factory and it's like the same place where the Cutco is made. So like nothing bad to say about them because we all just put our own little different spin on it. But especially with other knife companies, like there's definitely ways for you to come in and be like, hey, here's the thing. I'll just be straight up with you. I don't really talk bad about other knives. And frankly, I don't know enough about Rhineland to really like tell you anything about them. All I know is that like, you know, this is what's great about Cutco. And then you subtly just like work in stuff about other knife companies. So for instance, like with Rhineland, it's like, hey, like we put a forever guarantee on our product. I know that some companies, they'll have like a limited lifetime warranty. So you have to like register the product online. You have to be the original purchaser, and it's only going to cover manufacturing defects. So like, you know, if you drop it on the floor and you break the tip off, like they're not going to really help you out with that. But since ours is a guarantee, like it literally covers pretty much everything. Like my family was in a house fire and a bunch of the Cutco got melted up. We just shipped it back. They replaced it all, no charge, no questions asked. Another thing is like, we're really proud that they're made in America. We stamp it on the blade. Some companies, they'll tell you they're made like one place, but they won't actually put it on their blades. And that means most of the time that they're manufactured somewhere else. Rhineland is made in China, guys. It's not German steel. But yeah, like just little things like that. But mostly what you want to do is you don't want to badmouth other companies. Because that it makes you look better whenever you're like, no, I'm taking the high road. And then you just highlight why customers love our stuff.
And then quick question for you, Stephen. You use those magnetic
Mhm.
locks, or what you said. Does that take away, like, I thought magnetic strips and like the magnetic stuff can ruin the blade?
So here's the thing. What I would say is if you're going to do it, don't get the metal magnetic things where it's metal on metal. You want to get the ones that are like wood encased. So the two that I have are both like it's wood and the magnets on the inside. So it actually hasn't like messed up any of the knives. It doesn't like scratch them or anything like that. But it's just a really cool piece to kind of have things, you know, out there. Like I have the little 5-piece on the magnet board with all the red stuff, so it really like pops. But yeah, as long as you get the stuff that's like the wood encased in it, and like I said, you can get that Connex board on Amazon for like $28 and some change, and that's an easy thing to even promote to your customers. It's like, hey, here's the thing, I'm going to make this extra special for you, kind of like what Kelly and Pato were talking about, where it's like normally Cutco doesn't do this, so I just literally bought it on Amazon. If you did want to go ahead and like get these 5 pieces, I'm just gonna buy you this just as a thank you, so you'll like me and you'll want to buy more from me.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, cool. We might have a chance for one last question and then it's time to go. So if anybody, all right, well, I'm right here, so I'm just gonna go right here. But I'm sure if anybody has any other questions, they love to share their nuggets. So you just find them here, they'll help you out.
So this question's kind of for all of you, specifically Paddle, just for now. I've done a few shows where the shows are basically dead. And some of the shows, like it rains out, certain things happen. I don't want to be calling my customers to come to the show because I'm not sure how many are actually going to come to like in raining show and stuff like that. And when traffic's slow, like I try to say hi to as much people as I can, but like how do you guys really stop people from like people that are already walking and stop them at the booth?
Sorry, I know this because our State Fair, Texas is 24 days long and it rained for 36 of those 24 days this year. So, yeah, think about that. Yeah, which was very frustrating. So, I know it's random. You have to have like level 10 like energy and excitement when you see somebody. Like anybody you see that day is going to be shown Cutco with the highest level of enthusiasm. You got to have fun at the booth when there's no customers there. We're hanging out, we're playing games, we're talking, we're upbeat. We're not just like bored and annoyed and pissed off like all the other vendors are. People literally would come up to our, like the 1 or 2 customers would be there. They'd come up to us like, you guys are having a good time. Like you guys like, you know, like they're drawn to your energy because everybody else is dreary and sad and depressed. The other thing, I would literally yell at people when they'd walk by. I just go, rainy day specials on knives all day. And I can't tell you how many people, like a lot of people just kind of laugh and smile. And then a lot of people would stop and they'd come back and they go, we need some replacement table knives. What's your rainy day special? There was an umbrella stand literally across from us at the State Fair and it rained the whole time. And so this middle-aged couple, rainy day pouring, walk over to the umbrella stand. As they're walking in there, I go, you know what'll keep you drier than an umbrella? Kitchen knives. And they laugh and they roll their eyes and they go buy an umbrella. And then she walks back over and she's like, we could use a set of knives. And I sold them a homemaker set. So like, just get creative, get fun, get silly, like be upbeat. Your energy will draw people in and you give people a reason. We would also position the fact that we weren't going to talk to anybody else that day. I'm like, hey, you know what? The homemaker set's $12.73. I'm probably not going to talk to any other customers today. So if I could just give you like a crazy, ridiculous deal, if I could buy you those shears for free, would you just get it now? Rainy day special. Okay, position the weather for you to sell Cutco.
It's also good to have just some like preloaded little jokes or like one-liners to say as customers go by, just to greet them. You know, of course, you got it's like, hey, how are y'all doing? It's like, awesome, cool. But then, you know, if I see anyone walking by with any kind of alcoholic beverage, I always just point at them and I'm like, you drunk enough to buy knives yet? And it gets a laugh 100% of the time. And then like some of them are actually drunk enough to buy knives. So they come up and talk to you. It's really, really fun. Some of them will be like, nah, not yet. And I'm like, cool, have a couple more, come back and see me. Just, by the way, if you bring me a beer, you get a better deal on knives. So it's cool. And I've actually had customers bring me beer before. It's amazing. And then just like, you know, other stuff where, you know, they're walking by and it's like, hey, we're slicing prices, we're cutting deals. Just little stupid things like that, you know, that kind of are fun and engaging, but it's not the, you know, the guy with the weird lotion that's like, here, man, try this. Just put this on your body. Put this on, you just rub it into your hands. It's for you. It's totally for you.
It's for you.
So yeah, you don't want to be that guy with a chef's knife like, hey, try this. This is for you.
Pato, you have anything you want to follow up with?
What they said.
All right. Well, thank you very much to our panel, and let's go have some good lunch.
It's peanut butter jelly time.